And hello everyone, welcome back to another Trekyards mission briefing on a different day of the week. There's a special Trekyards mission briefing. You know, the show where we discuss, theorise, take a ship, take a station, take a piece of tech. It's in a ship form, we discuss, we theorise, we then show you guys and you tell us what you think, and we use all that amazing information for a full episode later on down the line. Hi Stuart.
Hi, I'm Captain Foley still.
Yes you are. Special week. Why and what are we doing, Stuart, today?
Well, we just hit 200 episodes, 200 main Trekyards episodes. Yay for us. So, what we're going to do this week is...
201.
Well, that too. But we're also going to treat you guys a little bit and show you some TOS Connie variants that people have done over the years. And so there's some fantastic ones that really take it to a new level and a redesign. Enterprise redo, as they say in French.
And this
the
is
redux.
And this is a whole week of Connies, 5 days to celebrate the anniversary or 200 episodes. And Stuart's found these pictures. I've not really seen them yet. I'm excited to see what the fans out there, this is all you guys, the best of the creme de la creme of the alternate Connie design. So I'm excited. But yeah, which one's this then today, Stuart? Tell me about this first one.
This first one we have here is by somebody called MadKoiFish that did this.
Nice.
That's the modeler's name, I would assume, or the designer. And it's a fantastic take on basically J.J. Abrams. The Ryan Church Enterprise.
Starting with a J.J., okay.
Well, yeah, it's a reimagining of that kind of and how it could have looked good, I guess.
Yeah, at the bottom of this first image it says Dan, the MadKoiFish, Urio, image Jason Maxfield, he's the one who made it, and it's 2011. First out of the gate, I like this design. Like what I'm seeing, I like it.
It's very pretty, and it looks very clean. And there's lots to talk about, little subtle changes. So
there's also more detail. Like I like the extra details. I mean, that deflector is really interesting. The facades obviously feel more JJ, but far more subtle. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know how many pictures there are, so we'll see. But Stu, if you want to take us through this, and I'll just comment because you're the Connie Master after all. But I'm excited.
Connie Master. That's a good title. I like that.
All
right, let's go to the next picture. I mean, the first picture showed it off and leaving a planet, looked great. But this one, we get to see a little bit more detail of it from the top. Now, one of the things that really stands out to me immediately is the detailing on the saucer. It's got the red striping, which is very reminiscent of a lot of Starfleet Battles designs.
And the Excelsior that has the red inside.
Ooh. Yes,
okay.
And we know from talking to Andrew Probert that the refit was supposed to have a lot of red pinstriping on it as well. So that's a nice little feature that I really like about this thing. So that's the first thing I noticed. Not really, but
there's so much.
The first things I wanted to point out.
Well, this says 2008, so older than we think, which is actually pre-JJ. I'm assuming that's based on the first concept image, or the first one that came out, because 2009 was the 09. But for this picture, I see, cage, black bars. I see that blue, again, like the Excelsior, the much more full-on impulse section. It's got a bridge module close to the refit, and just so many cool details to this. Like, it's a really interesting take on it.
It's a nice mashup of what we got, like you said, cage style, refit style, JJ style,
NX with the grills for the warp and engines. Yeah,
and then of course classic TOS. So this is one of my favorite redesigns that I've seen. The only problem I really have with this image from the top, the impulse engines look a little too big. They seem to kind of take away from the sleekness. I stole your word again. I'm sorry. The sleekness of the design.
It's a good word. That's why I use it.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about that impulse section there? It doesn't say as advanced as TOS to me.
I'm sure there are pictures later on to talk about it as well. But my initial vibe from that is a sense of power. That in fact they couldn't dumb down the impulse. Exactly, they couldn't dumb it down into these two little things like TOS has. They need these big drives. They like it as if the aesthetic was set, and then they refitted the impulse drive with this really nice, absolute state of the art big drive to give it that extra punch to make it that flagship. That's my take on it, honestly. I mean, it could be a little more curved. That would probably fit in with the curves a bit more. But if you look at the engines, there's actually quite a few. There's a groove that goes in that means there is flat lines. There isn't just smooth lines. So having a flat line on the impulse drive or isn't as far away as it could be from the overall design.
Well, yeah, I think one of the things that would improve the impulse engines for me is if they kind of continued forward a little bit and kind of integrated more into the curve of the hull, instead of being so abrupt. Also, maybe an impulse crystal there would have made that bulk seem like it was something more functional, mechanical, something that needed to be there. But I don't have a problem with them; they are cool looking. But I think that's the one thing about this design, personally, that I would change if given the chance.
Well, I'm looking forward to dissecting even more in future images because I feel like this is a low res. I want to see higher res. Oh.
Yes, well, let's go to the next one then.
Okay. Huh. Phasable turrets and self-illumination. That's what I see straight from the gate. Although, yeah.
And the lower planetary sensor is very reminiscent of the refit. Although it does have the eyebrows like the TOS, the landing gear.
Well, it's good detail to add, isn't it?
Yeah. And the dark ring even. It's a lot darker and thicker than it is on the TOS one, but it's a nice look. Absolutely.
It pops. It makes it pop. It's not too much. But there's also the cage detail on the bottom, which I've never seen before. Makes it pop as well. Gives a visual continuity. The RCS thrusters are now very visible, which is different to how they were in either iteration, but again, makes it pop. And also has Aztecing of some form, which again makes it pop even more. Really nice details. I want this model now. Yeah. I just, the simple addition of RCS thrusters on the TOS Connie really helps. I mean, it adds that sense of realism that the refit, that a lot of people really enjoy in the refit. Because when asked, why do you like the refit the most? A lot of people say because it's the most realistic out of all the Enterprises. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a place. And I think that really adds to this look, the RCS thrusters and the sensor band. It's got like how the refit has like two sensor bands going around the saucer. Yeah.
This one has the one, which I think looks great. I think it's cool.
Yeah, adds texture to it. I mean, the thing about the Constitution class is we saw what the idea of that ship could be done with the motion picture budget. It looked absolutely phenomenal. And obviously Star Wars ships from the get-go look amazing just in terms of detail. You imagine the Constitution class, same aesthetic, but really getting that detail level absolutely amazing. Like these little things might have been included, and self-illumination, all these things. Like it's interesting to see what could have been done. This feels, this view makes me feel like this is what could have happened, as opposed to let's change the design. It's if they had the money, if they had the time, if they had the technology, this is what could have been. And it's like an alternate as opposed to a redesign, and that's an amazing thing to be. That's a balance to be able to do, that I think this guy's done amazingly well on.
Now, what do you think of the addition to the neck there of that thicker?
About to say yes. What do you mean thicker piece?
Well, like there's almost like there's additional armor on it or something. There's not windows that are visible. It almost it's almost a tie-in and kind of reminiscent to the Excelsior again.
Oh yeah, that was
with
where
the
I was
ribbing on the neck.
Yeah.
Again, that's a nice accent color, but as far as being a thicker piece that's on there and you can't really see any visible windows, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that either.
I'll need to see another angles. I can't. I will wait to pass judgment on that until a little bit later.
Okay.
But I like it from the. I think I like it. No visible torpedo launcher, which implies it's very much TOS or 1.5 or even 1.7. We might be, getting almost the refit, but not quite. See, imagine if this had been the JJ prize. Like what we know as the shape, but looking nice and advanced. I mean, this flying around with that much, you really, really have amazing detail on the hull, like really high detail, amazing reflections. This would have been gorgeous flying through space.
Yes, this is one that would have made me smile for sure.
Yeah, it would have been like, oh, that's so nice. Oh,
people would still find things to complain about, like it looks too much like the refit or something. I don't know.
But it doesn't. I don't see those things to complain about. It's a great.
Yes. Take us into the next picture.
Next picture. High detail, I like it. And you see a alternate other ship, which we'll, I guess, ignore for this time being. That's quite interesting. You see a lot of detail on the deflector dish. Looks like there's an aft torpedo launcher in the neck, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Great placement, really great placement. There should be aft torpedo launchers on the Connie, even though we know there are, because the Defiant, at least that version, but there shouldn't be, but there are, but there never was, but there could be. That's really
just
good,
be
though.
a variant. Yeah, whatever.
That's really good, though.
Variants.
What do you think about the impulse drive now, then? Because now there's more detail, a lot more detail, more pieces to it.
I think it looks good from behind.
Yeah.
I think the next picture I actually see a different view of it from behind, which I like a little bit better. I don't have a problem with them being blue even. I'd rather those be blue than the main Bizarre collectors.
Yes.
Personally.
You need that color differentiation. You need it. You really do.
But that center part where it looks like it's, I don't know, it looks like there's two tubes there.
Mm-hmm. That
kind of bothers me. Like I said, it should be more enclosed and a little bit smoother, I think. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it could be, there's obviously an explanation for it, so maybe it's good. I don't know. What, do you think they look better from this angle?
Yes, I think it feels much more functional. I can totally buy it from this, and it feels very plug and play. Like I said, I maintain my previous theory. But I do like that saucer, though, having the blue Excelsior lines, having those extra panels, those grey indents, just because reasons, you know. I mean, it works. It really all works, and it gives it such an interesting vibe. It makes it feel lighter, makes it feel... I don't know, the blue is a strange one with this ship, but it works, and this really shows these engines, and the fact that they're obviously going for the same Ryan Church JJ aesthetic, having that thicker cowling paneling on the top.
I like that, though.
Exactly.
In this, when it's that subtle, I like that. It's a little bit too bulky in the JJ version.
Well, yeah, that's our probably biggest complaint, apart from the Nacelle placement.
They look like hair dryers, basically.
Yeah, they're just not good.
Yeah.
But
these I can definitely get behind. It looks like they almost slide forward, and maybe they can, because the Bizarre collectors look very enclosed. I mean, I can see those sliding back that distance and exposing the Bizarre collectors if they need to collect more hydrogen or whatever they use for those. So
I just see it as, again, plug and play when you want to refit. Now it's just components that you can take out, and the armor is needed because maybe there's more. Maybe it's, you know, the new system need more armor to help displace the gas or something. I don't know. But I also like those little spine elements on the bottom of the top of the pylons.
Struts.
There you go, connecting struts. Thank you. And again, a nice little detail, and the detail. I mean, I do like this. This is a good-looking ship.
Absolutely.
Although there's only a green blinky, there's no red blinky on the other Nacelle.
I was going to mention that, actually. That's funny. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, but those, like you said, on the leading edge of the struts there, that's very, again, reminiscent of the refit. They do have the coolers or whatever they're called there.
Yeah.
They don't bleed over onto this leading edge, on this edge of the strut, though. They're just on the leading edge for the refit, so. But yeah, I think that's beautiful. But moving on to the next picture. The impulse engines from behind look perfect to me. I like that a lot. I don't see any issues with those now. But yeah, it does look like there's a rear 4-ton torpedo launcher, but we didn't see a forward-facing one, which is odd.
Yeah, well, it could just be where the TOS ones were.
Could be, yeah.
There are already ones. That was just the refit. What do you think about those attachment points on the pylons at the top? How many shapes there are? It's not so per se complicated, but how many shapes there are?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's very architectural. It looks like almost like a cathedral, or, you know, some kind of, yeah, I can't think of the name I'm looking for right now. Rafter kind of thing. It looks good. It looks like it's techie and, you know, has a purpose. And again, it it would stop a lot of people from complaining that the struts look too flimsy or too weak, especially at the connection points, because they beef it out there, but it's a nice look. It doesn't look too bad.
It changes the dynamic from we know the struts must be functional and stable because they work, to we know the struts are functional, they must almost work, but we need to make sure they're just reinforced just in case we're going to put the extra structural, and that's needed. But it does work. But it's just needed to help. It's that little extra bit, and it's good. Yeah, no, I like it. I dig it.
Yeah, it's a nice subtle addition, which really adds to the look, I think. I really like the interior of that shuttle bay too. It's again very similar to the TOS one with the square and the circle in the middle, but it's upgraded. Different colors, black floor.
Feels bigger. Feels
Probably
like they're dedicating, more like the JoJo Prize, dedicating a whole section to it rather than sort of a room with stuff around it. Because if you did have the shuttle bay up until the sides, you probably had double, probably have two shuttles in there quite happily, because there was rooms and things either side of it. So,
yeah, cool.
I like it. But the next picture is another shot, very similar angle, but we get to really see the extra details. The RCS is actually yellow. Not too much extra in this picture, but you get to see more of the connection points within the nacelle. There's also elements on the bottom. I'm sure we'll see the Bassards a little bit later on somewhere, so I don't need to talk about them yet. But
one thing I do notice real quick, that black cage style thing you said on the bottom, it does have a yellow outline around it, which is interesting. It's very subtle. But not much to say on this picture really.
Although it does show off the neck, there is a thicker bit and a thinner bit.
Yeah.
But I think there's a picture of that later on.
I see forward torpedo launchers as well.
Do you?
On the front of the secondary hull. Looks like they have one on each side. You can only see one on this picture, of course.
Ooh,
the red circle there.
Yeah, I see it.
I like that. That's very cool to have one on each side of the secondary hull. That way, if you get hit there, you don't take out both launchers if they're in the neck.
That's interesting, yeah. And you don't suddenly put them in a sensor dome for some reason.
That's actually very similar to like a submarine style, like the Ares has, or some of the ships in Star Trek Online.
Very cool.
So yeah, very neat. All right, so the next picture is a close-up of the deflector. And I gotta say, if we're going to upgrade the TOS deflector dish style, I love this version of it, because it's still set back, it's not sticking out, and it's still got the blue glow behind it, but it still has that dish aspect. Proper colors, it's got the copper.
Yeah, I did not get this was the design from earlier pictures. It was segmented and had a blue. This is a gorgeous deflector. I mean, it ekes functionality, even though it's just got holes in it. Like, it must do something really cool, because it's there. And so you take that leap of feeling more advanced. It's not just a solid dish, because you think, we're sort of beyond solid dishes now, aren't we? It's not just a glowing bit saying what's a glowing bit. It's this great amalgam, and certainly calls back to the NX-01. I mean, it definitely has that great vinyl. Very nice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's excellent. And we can see all these great other details. You've got the torpedo launchers, like you say, you've got escape pods in the secondary hull. You can see the hatches, presumably escape pods. More blue lines like the refit had, which is nice. Again,
it's got an arboretum window.
Yes, I think that should be on the Connie standard, personally.
On this picture, though, this close-up of that torpedo thing, it looks more like these deflector elements at the front.
I think they're torpedo. I think you're 100% right.
I would hope so, but I mean, they look very reminiscent of this when you get this close up.
You still have those on the side, though. They're just more refit style. They're just more blocky. No, I think you're absolutely right. See, one great thing this picture shows is that they've got structural elements throughout the hull. On the pylons, you've got those extra little bits, coming out, attaching, and then on further out in the deflector, you've got those extra little ribs that strengthen. And it's just these little touches that make it feel a bit more real, and maybe not more advanced, but at the same thing, I buy this being between the Connie and the refit, because they are trying to push the technology, but in doing so they actually have to reinforce, whereas the refit is everything's back to being integrated because they've already done the refit,
You think this is maybe the JJ version of the Phase 2 Enterprise?
Yes, I do.
Reimagined?
But done properly.
Awesome.
Or this is the JJ Universe Kelvin timeline. This is their Constitution class. And the one we see in the Kelvin timeline is, because everything's diverged, it's their Enterprise. Like, it's not... Because this would still fit, actually, in their time. Whatever. Although it's too accurate to fit in their time, probably. But anyway, the next picture is another side view, and you get to see very much the neck detailing. You're right. I mean, there's that much thinner internal bit with the black detailing, and very thick, wow, bits. I like it. It makes it feel. It gives it depth. It gives it some structural, and it gives it, I don't know, something very basic and yet functional. If that makes any goddamn sense.
I know what you're trying to say, but yeah, I don't know how to put it into words either. It looks awesome, is what you're saying.
There you go.
Do you think a window or two in the neck would help it, though, with the look? Because I kind of miss the windows in the neck.
Yeah, I mean, sure, go for it. But only in the white bit. Leave the black bit, and then it's like there's a functional part there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a trigger of a toy gun.
It does, yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, next picture is basically the same shot, but this time we get to see the bridge dome on the top a little bit better. And it's very refit style, which I personally love. I love the refit bridge. And we also get to see the Bizarre collectors.
Yes. But the bridge is a bit more curvy. Like, the angle's a bit more gentle and curvy than the refit, I believe.
Maybe a little, yeah.
A bit more TOS-y. Like, it's that... The curves are TOS-y, but the design is refit-y.
Good words. We make up words here all the time on Trekyards. Refitty is now a word. Just so you're aware. Mark it in your Trekyards dictionary. We're going to make a Trekyards dictionary. That's what we got to do. That's what I think.
We'll take over the world. No. So the Bizarres. What do you think?
Well, they're very JJ-esque. They've got looks like they have the two impeller blades that can spin counter in opposite directions. But they're the right color, which is a great improvement automatically. And I really don't have a problem with the dual spinny things in there. Just the fact that they're blue in JJ-verse or Kelvin timeline is odd to me.
There's three things I like about this. One,
it's not the JJ prize. Two, it's still not the JJ prize.
No, seriously. When you look at the Kelvin timeline Enterprise, you can tell it looks like water blades. That's why we make jokes of brewery inside and out. 'Cause it especially with the blue, it looks like water blades, and you can see it's blades, it's turbines. This does not look like, if you didn't know there were turbines as a precedent, you would not say turbines. You would say, I don't know exactly what that is, but it looks cool. It's that functional in-between step. You've got the colour, you've got the mystery of what is it. And it's not just, what is it? It's blades, but what does that mean? It's actually, I mean, what is it? I mean, it looks kind of cool. Like, it's more of a stained glass window. Like, technology is happening inside of it, sort of, which I love. That's really, much better. I was going to say far better, but it's much better. Number two, they've got a little point in the middle, which is cage relating. Like, that's a little callback saying that like, there's a reason for that. Always
Last week we had spikes on here, but we took them off.
Yeah, and I don't know why I like that. It's kind of interesting little in between. And third thing, they've got a light ring like the 2016 Enterprise A, which I thought is great.
Yeah.
And here's a light ring as well, and it actually works so well. It's almost identical, just it's not blue and it's not lit up.
And it's a good color to have the red and the yellow, because that's kind of what we've seen all along. Even the Enterprise D has like the gold band behind the Bizarre collectors.
Well, I mean, straight away, look at this picture. You've got the yellow RCS thrusters, you've got the yellow phaser ball turrets, you've got the yellow dish, and there's accenting. I mean, the whole thing has a stylistic link of colours, and it's really good. I mean, this is a lovely view. Oh, Stuart, you spoil us. You spoil the fans with amazing pictures. And
I know. Speaking of which, let's go to the next one. This is just another shot of it from the front top.
Interesting.
And it looks like correct me if I'm wrong, but does it not look like the front of those nacelles have been slid back now to expose the Bizarre collectors a little bit?
It's different. Look at the impulse drive. I mean, this is a variation of it. Yeah, the Bizarres look a bit different. They've got maybe, but the impulse drive. Look, Stuart, impulse crystal.
That's nice. It's a nice improvement. That I approve of.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a fighter that's linked in, but it works pretty well.
Yeah, it looks like this might be in. Well, this is 2008.
Which was one of the other ones as well.
Yes. Interesting. Cool. Not much else to say. I think that looks a little bit better for the impulse drive for me.
But the next picture is a great side view. This now shows that it's got the Constitution class exterior, but the NX-01. I mean, there is obviously on the Constitution, but it feels more NX styling on the middle of the interior, which again links stylistically just a bit. And they've got now paneling and armor and just it's much better.
Yeah, and the banners on the side of the nacelle's gorgeous. That's another thing that JJ's missing. Just simple touches like the banners, and although we don't have the registry number on the side, which I think it should have. But anyway. Next picture is just shot from the back.
Ooh.
You liking the back of those nacelles, eh?
I'm intrigued by them.
And now the impulse engines are red, but that's okay.
Oh no. Well, maybe it's high. Maybe it changes at warp. Maybe it helps the warp bubble by generating EM fields that help polarize the distribution matrix within the compound curve of the warp bubble.
And the tachyon. Yeah, okay. We love our technobabble.
But I kind of like that. The I don't know. It's different shapes, and it's good different shapes. It's kind of got fins at the back as well, which I dig.
Yeah. Very cool.
Now, next picture is another beauty shot of it. Just looking gorgeous. I mean, what can you say, really?
Exactly, yeah. In that kind of lighting, it looks... We've seen it kind of blown out with lights, these last few pictures. This one, in more natural space setting, seeing the self-illumination, it looks really cool. Really cool.
And I maintain that, but again, with the Bizarres, they look between sort of they look more active than the TOS ones, maybe. Well, no, they look like a nice in between of the JJ and the TOS. But they certainly feel very alive.
And they're spaced properly apart, and they're nice size. So anyway, and thank you to Pixel Magic for making this awesome picture because it's amazing.
Although you don't see any blue on the deflector, which I think should be there because it would be there.
Unless it's not powered on right now.
That's ludicrous, Stuart. Please think clearly.
Sorry. Next picture. I thought I'd include this picture of it in space stock. Just
I think I have this exact model of space stock.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
And the next one, of course, is also in space stock, but from the rear, and it's getting ready to depart on a new mission. It just got refitted, let's say. And here we get to see the back of the nacelles. They got kind of similar to the production style TOS Connie with the.
I like that.
Half ball.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's and with that rectangular bit at the top, that's a really nice. It honestly it sleeks out the nacelles. It gives it that curve, and it
makes it look fast standing still, like what we said, and even those angled back struts, like the refit, helps with that. So
one more thing, underneath the shuttle bay, there's two doors. Again, Excelsior like, but clearly doors and clearly like cargo hatches and things, which is nice. A bit obvious. I don't think it should be two. It's a bit too much. It's like trying to fill a space, but I like it. But yeah, toned down a little bit, but I like it.
Cool. Well, the last picture is very similar to the first one. A little bit different angle, but it's flying away from the planet now. It just got out of dry dock, and this is this beautiful MadKoiFish Enterprise that I really love. I think it's a fantastic design, great reimagining. This is what a reimagined Star Trek should have been, in my opinion. A reboot.
It shows you the missed potential. You know, the amount of hate, the amount of negative comments, the amount of people just not watching it because of the Enterprise. If they had done this design, they would have had thousands, tens of thousands more fans, because they would have the production would have been shown to be like, they knew what they were doing, they got it right, they knew the vibe to appease everybody. And this looks advanced. Like, this looks, I mean, it wouldn't fit into canonical timings, but for a reboot setting with the same idea, it would still be more advanced. It would still fit.
Yeah, because as I've said with JJ, they rebooted all the characters beautifully. They're just new versions of our old characters, except the Enterprise. They kind of miscast that ship, as far as I'm concerned.
But at least Beyond has improved her
yes,
quite a bit.
This is true. But anyway, that's this first in the series of reimagined, redesigned Connies or TOS Connies for a new era, as it were. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I certainly did.
I did. I haven't seen this design before, so it's certainly fun to see it. And, yep, we love the Connie. So, yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the first of our Connie week. Lots of specials, all about the one we love so much. And thank you, all of you, for watching for 200 episodes now. That's a long time. We're over 2 years now. Kind of crazy what journey this has been. And here's to 200 more.
We can do it. We have enough ships. And enough manpower, not really. But anyway, guys, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share this video around where you can. And don't forget, if you want to help us out, there's ways to do that. Samuel, how can they help us out?
Either go to our website at trekyards.com, click that donate button, and give directly to our PayPal, which helps us out. Or if you want to be a monthly donor and help us keep the show coming to you every single week and many of the days of the week, then go to Patreon, which is a YouTube donation service, Patreon/Trekyards, and say $10, $20, $30, $100 a month, and we will take that money and make more shows and make better shows and just keep it coming to you every single week. Which we love doing, and we'll do more of it with your help. So, until next time, guys, this is Commander Coggins.
And I'm Captain Foley.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.